Hi everyone, and welcome to normally weekly cooking with Becky. But today we're gonna do a little something different. Today we're just gonna have a chat and chew. And I'm gonna bring to you what I consider to be the top 7 cooking recipes that I have done since I've started the channel. And what I'm going to do is, as I get to each recipe, you'll see a picture come up, and it's literally all I did. Guys, I still am not monetized, so I don't have sponsors yet. So it's just a screenshot of that particular video. But just know that if you click on more later down in the description, all 7 videos will be linked. It'll have the recipe, it'll have me going through it, it'll have all of the nutritional information, total carbs, net carbs, all of that stuff for you. And I'm going oldest to newest. So, oldest to newest recipes. To start off 2025. I know we are technically a couple weeks in, but I've technically only done 1 video, which was last week's. If you have not caught last week's, it was a 2-ingredient chocolate brownie-ish loaf. I mean, it's technically a chocolate loaf, but it really had the texture of a brownie, and we're making it again this week at our house. We liked it so much. But it is a chat and chew. So, since it's a chat and chew, I want to show you something. I haven't even tried one of these. Have you guys seen these? And I know I'm going over some things, but have you guys seen these skinny dipped? They're like all over the place. So since it's a chat and chew, I'm gonna have some fun with you. This particular one I have had before. I'll just eat one with you now, only because I have had it before. The brand is called Skinny Dipped. What I will say, this is a low carb channel. And all of my recipes are either keto, dirty keto, lazy keto, paleo, low carb. And most of them will go into the gluten-friendly, healthy-friendly, and 95% into the diabetic-friendly. I'm very careful about that. So having said that, keto police, you might want to just come back in about 3 minutes. So Skinny Dipped. One of the things I like about this company is that there are, and it says on the back, and I'm going to read it off of this one. So there's no sugar, alcohol, no artificial colors or flavor. There's no palm oils. It's founded by a group of women, and I really like that. This particular one is dark chocolate peanut butter almonds. This one uses a plant protein as well. And it's bee-friendly almonds. So if you're into protecting the bee population. This particular one in serving size is 1 ounce, 140 calories, and no sugar, alcohol. So you just take the carbs, and I live off of net carbs, people. And anybody who's watched my channel enough will know that. I'm gonna be repeating that later when I get to a recipe. So 11 minus 6 is 5 net carbs in an ounce, which is 18 almonds. I'm only going to eat one because I normally measure out 18 almonds, but I just want to show you what it looks like. And then, of course, because I believe that you have to eat what you touch. So you can kind of see that it's got the chocolate peanut butter coating on there. Really, really good, guys. 18 of these. So good. Afternoon snack. Okay. This is one I have not tried. This one is 60 calories per serving. This one has 2 grams of sugar. So it does have 2 grams of sugar, but no sugar alcohols. Like I said, woman founded, no palm oils, all that stuff. Loads of caramel flavor. I'm very curious. It is dark chocolate salted caramel bites. You can kind of see the picture up there. So since I don't subtract sugar, alcohol, it's just total carbs minus fiber. So 8 minus 4 is 4. This is 4 net carbs. And then I'm going to go over my recipes. And I have a Vietnamese coffee here. also low carb. Most Vietnamese coffees are not, but where I live, there's a restaurant nearby that has one, and I had to go. If you guys don't know, my daughter is in cosmetology school, and she's taking an extra nail class this week. She needed a few supplies after school, and I ran to this store that is nothing but a nail supply store. It's like you're in nail heaven, except I was lost, and I was like looking for specific items. I eventually had to go get help. But right next door to it is this particular Vietnamese restaurant that we really, really like. And they have regular food, but they also specialize in low carb and keto foods, which we didn't know until we went there a couple of years ago. I can't open this. I was going to try it for you. And so I've learned what I can and cannot have there. Okay, I got it. And if you've ever had Vietnamese coffee, it's very, very strong. So I'll be awake for hours. This is half of it because it broke because I was struggling, as you saw. I've not had one of these yet. It was in my stocking stuffers because my husband knows that I watch everything I eat. This is really good. This reminds me of those fundraisers, those bars. Those bars that you buy for $1 from the high school students. Caramel, almond, crunch, chocolate. And we haven't bought them in years because we don't need them. Let's go get and eat a piece. What is it called anyways? If you remember, leave it in the comment. I can't even remember because I don't need them. Okay. Off we go. So, I have been in 2 kitchens since I've started this channel. My goal is to get monetized, so please, please share this video, like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. We need people watching these videos. I really, really need that. Otherwise, I might start slowing down. It's been 4 years, so I'm really hoping that some of these old ones will get kicked back up. All the ones that I'm sharing with you today are ones that I still make on a regular cycle. So, having said that, wakey, because I'm Becky. All right, my first recipe was done 3 years ago on this channel. I still make it today with some twists. Here is a picture of that recipe. Number 1, as you saw, is low carb blueberry muffins. And I apologize for what you hear in the background. I have my grandcat and I'm not cooking, so she's going crazy, and she got this bird toy for Christmas. So you hear all that. They are so moist and delicious that, yes, the blueberry muffins are great. I have gone so many steps further with this, and they make a great breakfast muffin, or sometimes I just keep them in the fridge and they're an after school muffin, they're an evening dessert. I mean, you name it. Take out the blueberries, sub in chocolate chips. When your kids are like, I want something, and they want something more like junky, okay, then make them and just swap out chocolate chips. Divine, absolutely divine. It works. If you want to do something like a cranberry muffin, you can do that because you still have the sweeteners in there. And then what you do to add a little bit, since your cranberries are unsweetened and you're keeping it low carb, just add a little bit of granular topping on the top before you bake them in the oven. So this is what I would call a recipe, but know that you don't have to stick with the blueberries. You can change out your add-in. What do you want it to be? Do you want it to be like an almond pecan? Well, then go for it. Add a little smidge of peanut butter to the batter, throw in some chopped nuts to it, and have yourself a mimic to your old brand day muffins by doing an almond pecan. You don't have to use the blueberries. It's just a vessel. What do you want to replace it with? It works great with blueberries. It works great with other toppings too. So moist, so delicious. Winner, winner every time. All right, next is the next one. All right, so as you saw, number 2, low carb chili. Let me just say on this one, we literally make this one 4 or 5 times every winter, and we still make it even throughout the spring for different things. I have brought it, many of you guys know I'm a teacher, I have brought it to teacher potlucks. There was one time, there's a good handful of us at our school that are either low carb or keto, and we were doing a potato bar, and I was like, okay. But then I got to thinking, wait a second, what if a handful of us brought soups? So a bunch of us in the low carb keto all brought soups, but I specifically brought chili because I knew that the non low carb keto friends would make a chili cheese potato, and they were loving it, guys. I did a double batch. They were loving it, and it has like a medium heat consistency. I'm just gonna let you know from the get-go, it's a medium heat consistency. But then there are those of us that, just wanted to have the comfort of the chili, and it's just so good. So I made sure there was plenty of cheese and sour cream and stuff to top ours with, and I did little Parmesan crisps instead of crackers, and it was great. Wonderful, wonderful meal. So delicious, so filling. It's great. And it is something that you could do at like a potluck or on your own, as you just saw there. And it's just a wonderful meal, and it's something that we love throughout the year. Also, it's another one that if you go to another type of potluck in the summer and you hear that they're having this hot dog thing and you're a low carber and you're like, okay, then you bring some low carb keto buns, and then people have their hot dogs and whatever, and you make a chili cheese dog. I mean, so many things you can do with it, but it does taste great on its own too. So that is my second recipe. All right, here we are at recipe number 3. Recipe number 3 is my low carb crepini lasagna. Now, I make this a lot. Rarely do I use crepini. Back when I did this recipe, I even talked about serving it with like a side, okay? And I did that night, and I've done it a couple times. I'm at the point now where I don't make a side. It is so filling. It literally is like a stick to your ribs kind of meal. It makes 4 servings. So if you want to make sure, like if you have a bigger family, you're going to need to double it up. Here's the deal. It's hard to find crepinis unless you have certain stores near you. Crepinis are hard to find. So once again, it's a baseline. Does your store carry egg wraps? If they do, swap out the crepini, lay down an egg wrap. Does your store not carry either of those? There was one time I really, really was craving this, and the particular store that I shop at was out of both, and it's one that normally carries both. And I was like, no, what am I gonna do? Okay, well, I'm a low carber, so for me, I could do a low carb tortilla. And I was like, well, let me give it a try. Don't know unless you try it. It worked fine. I was like, oh, great. So now I've got low carb tortillas. I've got the egg wraps. I've got, the crepinis that I can still use. You could probably layer down some cabbage if you're truly keto and you're like, I don't like this. Okay, layer down some cabbage slices or some zucchini slices. But the flavoring in the ricotta cheeses and then the sauces and the meat is so good. Keep the recipe. If you've got the crepini, great. If you need to swap out the noodle layer for something you have, if you want that meal tonight, make it tonight. What do you have in your kitchen that you can use? Is it a lettuce base that'll just cook up and your lettuce is your noodle? Great. Is it street tacos that are too small and you just got to rip a bunch of pieces until it like lays flat? Great. It's so versatile. It's so good. And I promise you it will turn out with whatever you use as your noodle layer, and you don't need a side. I promise you. So filling, so good. It's going to be a winner. All right. This is one that now has an ad on it all the time because of the amount of views I have had, and there are dozens of comments. So let me just state this for the record. Number 4, smack dab in the middle, is my 0 carb fudge. Okay. Yes, I call it 0 carb fudge. I don't want to call it 0 net carb fudge. That sounds weird. But if you listen and watch the video, so many people made comments and just literally looked at the recipe and didn't listen to the video. At the end, I go over the nutrition facts in that video. No, it is not 0 total carbs. It's like 4 or 5. I don't even remember, but it's ridiculously low. And it is a 0 net because you cannot digest the sugar alcohol, people. You just can't. And once again, I'm low carb. So having said that, Keto, please do not keep commenting about that because I'm going to keep giving you the same comment. If you're a total carber, follow your total carbs. Use your own macros, okay? So if you're doing 20 carbs a day, you can still eat this fudge. It's totally appropriate on a keto diet. It's appropriate on paleo, everything. Diabetics, you can eat it. All of you can all eat it. And it's a 0 net. What I would say, however, is because the sugar alcohol brings it down to a 0 net, don't go crazy. Cut yourself the appropriate size piece. It does tell you how many pieces it should make. Because if you go crazy on it, yes, you're going to be in the bathroom later because that's what sugar alcohols do. So don't go eating the whole pan, okay? You're going to be in the bathroom. Don't do that. Eat yourself a piece of fudge a day. And by the way, it is ridiculously delicious. Absolutely delicious. And there's no guilt. You can eat a piece a day and still have a treat later on and keep loving yourself. It's amazing. Thank me later. All right, so this next one, number 5, is my own keto unstuffed peppers. When I first did this, I could not even find recipes for keto unstuffed peppers. And like I said, I'm not monetized, but some people must be following my channel who make money because now there's a lot out there for the unstuffed peppers. And I'm like, y'all, you need to tell me who your people are so you can help me out here. Having said that, I took a recipe from my nutritionist when I was in the middle of my weight loss. As many of you guys know, I lost 80 pounds and I am now on year 4 of keeping it off. I was in the morbidly obese category. I have kidney disease. I still have kidney disease. Always will. Always working with it. Always dealing with it. And that's what you do. You live your life managing. Okay? You will spend more of your life maintaining your weight loss than losing it. That's how it goes. Otherwise, you put it back on. So remember that quote. Please make sure when you lose it, you maintain it. Having said that, this was a recipe that was given to me, but a certain child of mine would never, ever eat the pepper. And I was just always watching her scoop everything out of the inside. And I'm like, but you gotta have your vegetable. gotta have your vegetable. And my husband and I, we were just like loving it. So then I unstuffed it and I started chopping everything up and mixing it up, and I turned it into a casserole because I'm like, if I can get those pieces small enough that she cannot physically pull them out, then it'll work. And lo and behold, this casserole came into being. We actually like it better than stuffed peppers because then the flavors go throughout. Oh, and on day 2, when like some things on day 2 are just really good. Like that keto chili I mentioned earlier, that's really good on day 2 as well. It is a divine dish. And sometimes I use different cheeses as my topping. I just use whatever cheeses I have on hand. In the recipe, I used green peppers, and most of the time I use green peppers, but there's been times where I've been at the store and I'm like, the green peppers are going out of season, and I just grab the trio bag of peppers and I come home and I start chopping. Just have fun, use that recipe, kind of get going with it, enjoy. Seriously, it's great, and it will help your kids eat their veggies and hide some of the veggies in it, and it works wonderfully as a casserole. So hope you guys enjoy that. My recipe will be linked inside. Okay, this one I had to make for a couple weeks in a row when I first made it because my daughter fell in love with this recipe. She is like the strawberry queen. So this particular one is called low carb strawberry fluff pie. And basically it's an adaptation on strawberry pie, strawberry cheesecake, strawberry fluff. And we just kind of like mixed some things up, and it worked. It absolutely worked. This may be one, oh, by the way, this is recipe number 6. I forgot to state that. This may be one that you might have to wait until like late February, early March, because strawberries are not in season at the moment, unless you get the frozen strawberries and chop those up and then, well, thaw them, chop them up and use them. But fresh strawberries right now are on the tart side. So, I would wait on that one, and or make the pie, but make a blueberry fluff pie, or make a different fluff pie for now, and then have strawberry fluff pie in the spring. But it was one that is a great one, and it's another one that is like you get closer to like July 4th or potlucks or whatever, will be a winner. You can bring it places, not feel guilty about, and I guarantee people around you will eat it and not even second guess it. It's a really, really good dessert. Alrighty, this brings me to number 7. This one I did just a couple weeks ago, and we planned on eating it for 2 days. We ended up eating it for 3. It makes a ton. It makes a ton. We're also from a small family, so if you have a bigger family, it might be different. But it was the Keto cheesy ground beef casserole. And even though it's ground beef, let me just tell you, it's half beef, half sausage. And then you mix everything up, and the way that you incorporate the half and half, the cream cheese, and you put it over broccoli and just the cheeses on top, just the everything. I cannot tell you the flavor explosion. It's really, really hard to explain, but the flavor explosion is just amazing. It is amazing. I remember my husband, like the week afterwards, was already wanting it again, and it's been about a month, so I'm already telling myself when I was going through this that we're going to have it next week again. Absolutely, absolutely an amazing, amazing hearty meal, and as we go into the new year, it's one that you don't have to have any guilt about. So those are my top 7. Now, I encourage you just to kind of like look through my videos, and you'll see. You will watch that when I first started the page, I was a little bit heavier. You'll see me kind of lose the weight, things like that. You'll also see some of the older videos. The editing's kind of wonky there, but I do hope you enjoy it. And I look forward to seeing what this year brings. I wish you all the best. For those of you that kind of walked away and are coming back, welcome back to the channel. You can do it. We can all do it. I think we're all trying to reset into this year. So let's do it. Let's make 2025 a great year. I'm going to keep bringing you back with some more recipes. I'm also thinking about doing some things like some Walmart hauls of what can you buy at Walmart? What can you get at the Dollar Tree? What can you get at Costco? I know some people are trying to figure it out and budgets are tight right now. What can you get on a budget that is low carb, keto friendly, especially with the money being tight right now? I know some of you guys would probably like seeing stuff like that. So I'm already trying to figure out how to tweak some of those. But seriously, look at some of these recipes. I hope this gives you a good start, especially if you're trying to jump into a weight loss. These are some good to go meals. It'll gear you towards success. And remember, losing the weight is part one. Maintaining it is the rest of your life. And I wish you all the best in 2025, and I'll see you next time. Bye.